We are Maduro of Venezuela was captured this morning. Donald Trump came out on Truth Social and announced this morning that the United States had captured Nicolas Maduro, had taken him away, and he's going to stand trial in the United States of America. They got him and his wife. Now, here's what else you need to know. The attack started about 2 a.m. local time in Venezuela this morning. The main Air Force base in Venezuela was struck. There was a signal tower struck. There was the biggest military base in Venezuela was struck. There were missiles apparently used. We don't know what the missiles came from. Part of the escort fleet for the USS Gerald Ford or some of the other frigates that were in the area, the other ships that the Navy has out there. And we don't know if they came from F-35s. We don't know what kind of missiles they were. What we do know is that the United States hit them pretty hard and pretty fast. But it wasn't a take down the government situation. This was a get Maduro out. He was taken today live. And so I'm bringing this to you just quick as I can. I want you guys to get this information. What is also known is there was a lot of helicopters flying around, and it is my understanding that Maduro was taken probably in a Chinook helicopter, because a Chinook went in. That's the big U.S. helicopter. It comes back in the early 60s. It's got the big 2 rotors on top, and it's got it was escorted by Apache gunships. Apache attack helicopters escorted in to get Maduro. And the forces involved with this were the U.S. Army Delta Force. So no, the SEAL team don't get all the credit for everything. As a former Army guy, I'm kind of happy to hear that, because the Delta Forces were located primarily, at least there were quite a bit of them, on Fort Bragg, North Carolina, my first permanent duty station in the Army. That comprises the Green Beret. My unit was right next door to the Green Beret. We trained on the exact same training ground. So, guys, this is huge. World leaders are divided over it. You can imagine that Iran has come out and said, oh my gosh, this is... well, they didn't say, oh my gosh. They said that this violated national sovereignty and integrity. Which you can imagine the Ayatollah in Iran is probably quite frightened by this operation, because it shows just how the United States can go into any country and pluck somebody out. This is a huge demonstration of U.S. powers and capabilities of the U.S. military to be able to go into a country. And they had, 1 million reservists on the ground activated in Venezuela. They had their regular military, and they could do nothing to stop this operation. The United States had earlier hit one of the big ports in Venezuela. Some of the news is confusing as to whether maybe they hit it again or not, but they took out one of the ports that is accused of loading the narco materials, the drugs, onto the ships. As you know, they've taken out, right now I believe it's up to 30 of those fast boats. Of course, they hit the port. Now they've hit, like I said, again, for those just joining, we've hit the main U.S. military base, the main air base, a signal tower, and we took Nicolas Maduro and his wife out of Venezuela. We extracted them. The United States Delta Forces went in and did that. I'm doing this as a live video so I can get it up here quick. So, guys, this is an operation that is going to shake leaders around the world. People all around the world are going to be looking at this, and they're going to be shocked, and they're going to realize just a lot of them are quite vulnerable. Like I said, there's divided opinion. A lot of countries are condemning it. Some are applauding it. Like Milei of Argentina, he applauded the operation. So there's, it depends on, whether they're allies or not, how they're responding to it. But it is a major operation that just took place. Again, there were people in Venezuela. I saw a report for a father who was rocking his kid or something like it, probably trying to get him to sleep, about 2 a.m. in the morning, heard the aircraft coming. Apparently jets were involved, according to his report. And we do know there's video of helicopters So jets and helicopters. So the jets might have been firing some of the missiles. It might have been surface-to-ground missiles. We don't know the full extent of what was used and how. Maybe cruise missiles may have been used. We don't know. The details are still coming out. I'm bringing this to you pretty hot. I read several articles before I launched this video here to try to get the skinny on it, but there's still, a fog of war over this. More will be coming out as the day ensues. But in short, the operation was successful in getting Maduro out. The vice president of Venezuela has called for evidence that Maduro is still alive. He wants to see evidence that the man is still alive. I don't know what the chain of command is there, how they switched to the vice president being president. The government is still somewhat, still intact, but after strikes on their Air Force base and their main military base, they're probably shaken. It might be that there could be an overthrow of the government there. A quarter of the people of Venezuela have fled the nation because they're living in abject poverty. One of the oil richest nations on earth is totally impoverished thanks to communism. And we got here in the United States, we're electing mayors that are basically communist. And if you don't believe that Mamdani is communist, he just did a big speech where he talked about collectivism. He wanted to get rid of the frigidity of rugged individualism, which I very much support and I'm happy to be part of, and replace it with the warmth, is like the warmth in a furnace, of collectivism. You'd be freezing to death in your homes like so many other communist countries. New York is going to go to heck in a handbasket, I would say. But that's a topic for another video, maybe on my Soil Ahead News in the not too distant future. But my friends, communism fails. It always fails. When you got the world's oil richest nation on earth that a quarter of the people have to flee from because of its badness. Now, here's another thing. Maduro had been indicted in U.S. court during March of 2020. Now, I do believe Biden was president then, just, had been in office a couple of months. So the situation is that he had been indicted. His wife hadn't been indicted, but Pam Bondi has come out, and said that both Maduro and his wife will stand trial in the United States. So this is going to be interesting, how all this, there'll be political earthquakes around the world as a result of this operation. But it just shows, look, this is on the heels of the United States B-2s flying over and bombing the facilities in Iran. And now this, it shows the United States can reach in wherever it pretty much wants and do pretty much whatever it wants if it decides to do it. It's also a testament of cojones. The United States has the cojones to actually take action, that we're not going to be in a nation of trying to appease everybody anymore. We're not in that business. We are, it also makes Trump look a little less predictable, which is probably good in the world of geopolitics, especially with nuclear geopolitics, because what happens here is that, a lot of the strategists thought it was good to have an unpredictable president to keep the other world leaders guessing. So it would keep them from taking rash actions, because they're going to go, what's the U.S. president going to do? They don't know. So is it positive for the stock market? It might be, because we succeeded with this operation. Now, a lot of things are hard to say, but collectivism is a different word than communism. Yes, it's a different word, but collectivism is what communism is about. Communism survives on collectivism. Collectivism is one element. So, in any event, it's pretty darn close. If you see all the other stuff, look, they're talking about seasoned grocery stores. They're talking about, seasoned land and landowners. If they don't cooperate with their, you can't make a profit despite the fact you've invested a lot of money kind of approaches. It's, it's nuts what New York is about to go through. But anyway, all that aside, this broadcast is about Venezuela. We struck Venezuela today, this morning at 2 a.m., and we've taken Maduro out. That is the bottom line. World leaders will be reacting all day. There's reactions already coming out. So But the good news is it was done. It's that Secretary of State Rubio. Sometimes I'm getting brain lock here. I'm not using the script, guys. Rubio said that he's expecting no further action in Venezuela. Now, we'll have to see how that turns out. No further action. So, will we actually go in and do something? Well, the other thing, this occurred exactly on the 35th anniversary of taking Manuel Noriega out of Panama, who had also been indicted as for drug trafficking, just like Maduro. And he was taken out when George Herbert Walker Bush the Elder, was president. That's what I like to refer to him, just to remove confusion. Bush the Elder, Bush the Younger. But 35 years ago to the day. So you can bet this was planned. It was planned just for that. And they knew exactly what they were doing when they went in and got this guy. It's an excellent operation that they were able to pull that off without any casualties on the United States side. It's an excellent operation. They were able to nab him out of the middle of all this. And, so Venezuela says, well, we're activating our military. We're activating our militia. Well, so what? It's kind of like, standing back from a fire ant nest and kicking the top of it off and watching all the ants coming out to defend the nest, and you step back a couple of feet and watch them scurry around. Yeah. So what? Is my saying. So what? Boo-hoo. Lost a drug dealer. Yes, exactly, New. Boo-hoo. Yeah, I'm not crying over it. I'm not going to cry over this. When you consider all the Americans have lost lives due to this mess. Fentanyl's the worst case. Fentanyl's not what's coming out of Venezuela, but you can bet all the other dealers are quaking in their boots, seeing that we are able to take out ships, boats, and then go in for the head concho anywhere in the world. Yeah, the leader of Mexico, the president down there, the presidents of Colombia, they've all protested against this because they're tied in with similar things, real tight. And but like I said, Milei of Argentina, he applauded it. So that's the bottom line. This was dumb as Russian sanctions now have a Libya within walking distance. As Russian sanctions? Oh, well, yeah, there's bigger protests over something. Yeah, we seized two tankers down there. And there was a tanker that reflagged itself as Russian that's kind of trying to escape our pursuit. And that's another piece of news that Russia's protested are going after it. So I don't know how that's going to play out, guys. But it's getting interesting. It's getting interesting really, really fast. But it happened. So looking through some of the comments real quick here. My biggest issue is we went in and helped Maduro leave while, I don't know how many civilians were taken out. There's no word on that on my end yet, if you go and bomb stuff. But the word is that we hit the main military base and we hit the main Air Force base. So how many people were lost there, I don't know yet. We'd have to wait for Venezuela to say that we're civilians taken out. I don't know yet. So the people in the ships, the drug boats, if they're hauling drugs, then God bless their souls. That's all I gotta say. They'll face their judgment one day. So. In any event, guys, this is a big operation, and we're going to see what comes out. Well, the United States, this doesn't... See, there was an election. I can't say too much on this program. If you say certain things on this platform, you will be instantly banned as a channel, shut down. But, let's just say some things was in question about a certain balloting activity in a certain nation, which Caracas is the capital. Let's just put it that way. And the opponent, who allegedly might have had some other outcome, got a Nobel Prize. You know what I'm talking about? Well, she's applauding this operation. Does this mean she gets put in power? No, not immediately. Apparently, the government there is still intact. So what's happening next? Will the government fall from internal resistance? Well, when a quarter of your people have left, most of the resistors are probably out of the country, but who knows? It might. Hey, Bama J. Uh, who knows? Uh, Russian sanctions now have a Libya within a well. So Russia has oil. So I'm not sure what you mean by Libya. Libya's an oil country. Russia has oil, so it's not really clear what you mean by that, Christy. But anyway, so the bottom line again is Maduro. For those that just joined, Maduro has been taken. Maduro is out of the country. He will stand trial in the United States. He and his wife both. Maduro had been, as I said, indicted back in March of 2020, and the opening couple of months of the Biden administration. Probably an activity that started under Trump 1, his first administration. So that's the bottom line. The activity is still foggy. There's a lot of information will be coming out throughout the day and over the weekend and even Monday, Tuesday. So we'll be getting more. I'll probably file another report on this a couple more days. There's no point in blow every minute talking about it. So I will wonder how they split. What? That 55 million. Oh, it was 50 million bounty on his head, but I don't know. The military went and got him. So somebody apparently, I don't know, maybe somebody gave a report that said, hey, he's in this room right now. I don't know how that will occur. Venezuela was 100% over oil for Chevron. This was a big. Maduro actually offered the United States an oil deal to prevent this attack. So that's kind of hard to say, Christy. Maduro offered the United States oil, an oil deal. He offered to cut them in. So I would say it's a lot about China, and I've said it way back, and a lot about Iran. I reported years ago that Iran was sending lots of missiles to Venezuela. I reported that on this channel some time ago, missiles and drones. And China was in. Now, here's another thing. The oil part of it might put a bit of a squeeze on China, especially. We haven't taken the country yet. So if it was really about oil, we would go in and take the country. We've not done that. The government is still in charge. They may fall, but they are still in charge at the moment. And Rubio said no further action required. We'll see how that turns out. I don't know, because there's just a lot involved, and I think the United States would want to see the opponent to Maduro in that election process get installed in power. So there's a lot to be seen yet as how all that's going to play out, what will happen. I don't know what the answers to that's going to be, and no one does at the moment. Just like nobody knew exactly when and how the United States would strike on this. Things are certainly heading for it. 2026 is getting interesting in a hurry. Self-protection, self-defense. I don't know. So, in any event, the situation is that we're also putting squeeze on some other areas that may put a little squeeze on China. We are in an economic war with China. And if anybody doubts that, they got their heads in the sand. And it's more than economic war. I've told you guys that China's at war with us, and we've just been too stupid to know it. A war by other means, a Sun Tzu war, on many levels. They've got us hacked at one side and down the other. They've been the architects of sending fentanyl to this country. And if we can do this, they have been directly involved in loss of hundreds of thousands of Americans. China. And Xi Jinping is responsible, in my humble opinion, because all the Chinese banks have been the National Bank of China has underwritten these cartel activities. So have I officially moved from Huntsville? Yeah, I moved from Huntsville in November of 2024. So in November 2024, I moved from Huntsville to Arizona. So, I might visit from time to time, but I am, that's been some time back. So I'm bringing you this here from my bug out van. Because bugging out is an important thing. I'm the bug out man in his bug out van. It's important to understand bugging out. The reason this country was founded. We were founded for liberty and to get out from under the tyranny of kingships. Maduro was a dictator. There's no doubt about that. So there's a lot of dimensions that can be debated about this stuff. My main objective today is just tell you what happened. And what happened is Maduro got taken out. What's next is going to be a big question. Big question. God wins, evil falls. There you go. Cowboy Roy Rogers, how you doing, buddy? My vice president of Freedom Restoration Foundation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to freedomrestorationfoundation.org. Liberty and pursuit of happiness. Yes, that's what we're about. The pursuit of happiness is a big part. But do you realize that the original language was property? Yes, the original language, they re-edited it, but it was property. Property rights were important to the founding fathers. And some people, like Ma'am Danny, do not understand that. But in any event, some of us need to bring that up. There you go. Thank you for posting that, Cowboy Roy Rogers. That's a good place to go if you want to contact. You go to the Action Center page and scroll down. If you want to contact your politicians, the mini ticks, there's a lot of details on how to do that, exactly how to do that on the bottom of our Action Center page. So we got to do some updates. I need to find a webmaster, guys, for this website. God-given rights. Yes, Nunu, exactly. Hey, we got a super chat. Michigan Woodsman. Thank you, sir. Hats off. Salute to you. Oh, yeah. So hats off. So hats off, literally. All righty, guys. So much appreciated there, Michigan Woodsman. So, guys, we are in interesting times. This year has started out with a bang. Happy New Year, everyone. Really started out with a bang. A lot of bangs over there. And it's going to be a crazy year. I believe it's going to be really crazy year. I'll do a 2026 video in a few days. But the good news is no American casualties. We don't know what happened on the Venezuelan side. Time will tell us. The Bill of Rights was written for our God-given rights. That's true. But you got to realize that the founding fathers wrote it such and explained it such that it was not intended to be the only rights. They were just enumerating and codifying some of the more important ones. But they really wrote the Constitution saying that what's not in the Constitution, powers given to the government are given either to the states or to the people. But that has been forgotten, and now the Bill of Rights is under trial by the bureaucracy of the state that's so deep. And that's one of our biggest problems here in the United States. They want to take away the rights that have been enumerated in the Constitution, and they don't want to recognize any others. The founding fathers had the exact opposite opinion. The exact opposite. And they wrote it. And they even wrote it into the Constitution, and they ignore it. And the courts have ignored it over and over and over. And these people are basically, how do you say this and not get banned here? Starts with a T and ends with a T and a Y irons. You got to be so careful on this platform. This platform is so dead-gum anti-freedom. This platform bugs me. It's hard to operate here and tell people what you really think. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. That's a bunch of hooey. The rights belong to the people and not to the government. We're supposed to be a government, we the people. Let's become we the deep state, or the deep state. Yeah, they think they're above us. They shouldn't be. And that's why I'm glad to see some house cleaning going on inside our government. Our government's way too big. That's my humble opinion. Way too big. Yes, that is why we have the Second Amendment. That's why they want to take that one away in particular, more than any of them. Because without a Second Amendment, none of the rest of them count, to be quite honest. Power to the people. Thank you, Nunu. Exactly. Power to the people. And I hope power returns to the people of Venezuela. That's what I hope. And I hope the quarter of the population that fled can go home and live in peace and prosperity. And that is something for us to pray for. That is my hope. and let's pray that it turns out that way. And prosperity means that the people will get revenue from the oil richness of the nation there. There's no reason those people should be living in poverty in Venezuela, except for the ineptitudes of communism. So that's a fact. All right, my friends, I have good morning, Venezuela. Hey, all the sun. How you doing, all the sun? All the sun's kind of like Allison, right? I'm all his own, if you didn't know. But anyway, guys, so it's time we the people grow a pair. Amen. Well, see, that's why they don't like men. They've so tried to downtrodden men in the United States of America in any action that where somebody's got a spine or a backbone and a pair. You know what I mean? I've seen some women got a bigger pair than most men in terms of taking action. But guys, it's time we stop laying down and taking all the junk that they want to dish at us. We've got to stand up for who we are, or we won't be at all. This is a spiritual war in our world, and it's a war for our freedom, our minds, and our souls. They want to take all that and put it under control. You got to remember the main tech guru for Klaus Schwab was saying that you don't have a soul, and he's openly advocating to put chips in your brains to control you, basically. So that's where the state of deep wants to go, and the state of deep and a certain rich clique that fly their jets to Davos to talk about limiting our ability to drive lawnmowers, have propane heat. Those idiots are all about control. They're about taking it all away from you and setting up a global gulag that's going to be a new feudalism system. That's what they're trying to do. They want to kick the ladders out so that you can't climb the upper echelon, so they're permanently ensconced there. And they promote socialism and communism, but it's not what the ideas of socialism and communism are. It's really feudalism. That's what it really boils down to. They will still be at the top, or else they wouldn't be promoting that stuff. Why do you think George Soros is promoting this stuff? It's not because he really believes in what he's espousing. It's because he's got an agenda. And if you don't believe that, then your head is in the sand. You got to see who's promoting what, and then think, well, why in the world would they do that? And then if you read and see the bigger trends of what's going on, and you look at what the people in power are playing, it ought to be pretty darn clear. It ought to be pretty darn clear. Although the news media wants to throw sand at it and confuse everybody. So, Randy Bly, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Good to see you, Randy Bly. Yeah, the Blue Bottle Bunny Farm. Yes, sir. Thank you for sharing that, Cowboy Roy. I know I have a bigger pair than most men. Yeah, well, it's time for men to show some stamina. You know, they ply us with chemicals and plastics, chemicals in the plastics that basically destroy your manhood. That's what they're trying to do. Then they got this stuff they put in water. You know, I don't want to say too much because I get hit on this platform. But if you know what I mean, it ends with "ide" and starts with "floor." You know, that stuff is meant to tame us down and make us comments. You know, the soma from the Brave New World, or, you know, it's part of what'll make everybody happy when they take everything from you. Kind of a, you know, you will have no privacy, you will own nothing, and you'll be happy because you're going to be drugged. You'll know nothing. You know, have a chip in your head. Yeah. And you're going to be a mind-numbed robot. You will be a little worker ant. I am here to do whatever you want. Oh, great leader. Yeah. Yeah. And so a lot of the people in our country that are supporting these people unwittingly don't know what they're really supporting, where it will ultimately lead. They think it's going to lead over here, but the powers that be that are setting it all up plan to take it over there. And that is a feudalistic state, a techno-feudalistic state of absolute control. That is what they're trying to set up. And I've warned you guys, it's the hive. So it looks like the plan's working perfectly, and most are so distracted. Well, yeah, they try to keep us distracted and blind. and they try to shut down people that want to tell people. So who knows? I might be bye-bye. Hey, David, how you doing? David Moran. There are many important survival-related playlists on my channel. Okay, good. Yeah, check out Cowboy Roy's channel. He's got a lot of stuff on there. So, my friends, that's the bottom line. This is what's going on. Another one bites the dust. Dun, dun, dun. Well, he hadn't bit the dust yet, Maduro, but he is captured. He and his wife both. The silver market is going berserk. Buy physical silver. Yeah, close to Birmingham, Alabama. Okay. Also, guys, check out defythegrid.com. If you go to defythegrid.com and use the code GreenGregs, you'll get 1% off. And it may not sound much, but the reason the prices are beat everybody else's is because they operate on a 3 to 4% margin. So for them, that's huge to give you 1% off. But you're already getting a big discount when you go there. So check them out. Check out defythegrid.com. Anyway, so I think I beat on this. I've said plenty. We got 88 in the room. For those that just joined late, just to recap, at 2 a.m. this morning, the United States launched missiles and hit and the biggest Air Force base and the biggest military base and a signal tower in Venezuela, mostly around Caracas. And they sent in Apache attack helicopters as escort to a Chinook helicopter, and apparently that's what they captured Maduro with. Probably brought him back, him and his wife, in the Chinook, most likely. I mean, they could have went in with Black Hawks and grabbed them. I don't know why they took a Chinook. That's pretty brave of them. But with Apache gunships, they pulled it off. They did it. They got him and got in and got out with use of the United States Army Delta Forces. And they succeeded with no American casualties. We don't know what the case is for Venezuela yet. We do not know. More will come out. But you can expect a lot of propaganda to come out of Venezuela on this too. Russia isn't going to be happy about the Venezuelan alarm clock this morning. No, they're not. China's not going to be happy because China may lose a big oil revenue source, a source of their oil, if we shut that down. And it's also possible that things could get bigger. But there's another action where the United States maybe is putting a squeeze on China in that regard too. I'll report on that later. So this is a big thing. My friend Lee Keller blocked me and cursed me out for my posting about who said he was my friend there. The Genomic. I think you're being facetious, right? I've not been on this channel in a long time. He's attacked me with a bunch of BS. Apache top tier, yeah. But I did not bring myself down to his level by counterattacking him. I just let it go. But if y'all witnessed that, some of you'll know. So I just let it go. I figured everybody knows the way he operates, so I just let it go. No point in taking myself down to that level. We're above that here on Green Gregs, my friends. We're family. Alrighty, my friends, we got to go. I just did a recap. Yes doesn't play around. Installing the big, yes, exactly. So this is a message to the world. The world's going to see this and be stunned. Anyway, if you just joined, I've repeated it already a couple times. No point in beating this horse, catching on the rewind. Go back and watch my video from the beginning. I think we're done here. Something's changed about this app. How do I end the video? Anyway, I think I hit the X here. Yeah, I haven't gone live in a long time, and some of the screen widgets have moved around. Anyway, I want to thank Super Chatters. I want to thank you mods for keeping it clean in here. And it's going to be an interesting year. I will be bringing you more frequently. There's been a reason that I hadn't been reporting for the past couple of weeks. I'll go more into detail on that soon. So my apologies for that, but we'll try to be more regular on here. And once I, how do you say it? What's your name on there? Whoop. The Genomac. The Genomac. Somehow if I said that right. Anywho. He's got his lovers. He got his people that love to listen to him. But anyway, so more power to him. More power to him. That's all I got to say on that topic. Like I said, I don't have to lower myself to that level of blandality or whatever you want to call it, because we're above that here on Green Gregs. Y'all know that. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Again, thank you, mods. Thank you, super chatters. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please share my videos. This platform stomps on me pretty hard, and the only way we get the word out sometimes is sharing the videos. So please share. Take care, Greg. Oh, female soldier in Tennessee agrees with. Very good, Jackie Boyd. Good to hear from you. I was in Tennessee not long ago. Anyway, so I wish everybody well. With that, I'm going to say God bless, and let's hope and pray for a better year this year, but it's going to be interesting no matter what. It's going to be very interesting. So again, thank you. Thank you there, Nudu. Everyone take care. Greg out.